Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you are doing good. So today we'll try to understand catalog item in ServiceNow. So let's get started. So first I want to let you know what all topics I'm going to cover in this video. So first is I'm going to explain about catalog, and then I'll navigate to the native view and ESS view to show you how it looks to the admin and ITL user, and how it looks to customer or end user service portal. And then we'll talk about catalog category and catalog items and how it is associated to each other. And then I'll let you know about benefit of having catalog items in ServiceNow. Next, we'll try to understand what is catalog items and types of catalog items. Then we'll try to understand catalog variables and variable set. Along with this, I'll try to explain you one use case, and we'll try to implement the flow also associated with that catalog item. And lastly, we'll try to understand what is catalog UI policy and catalog client script. Okay. Okay, so what is catalog? So we are very much aware about this term catalog. So whenever we decide to buy any product, first we see the catalog of that product, right? So same ways with the ServiceNow, service catalog application creates service catalogs that provide your customer with self-service opportunities. Catalogs enable your organization to offer different set of services to different teams within the organization, such as IT service, HR, and asset management. So the advantage of having catalogs, it enables your organization to offer different set of services to different teams, right? So as per the requirement of the team, it offers the different set of services within the same organization. So we are having various kind of module in service now, like ITSM, HR, ITBM. So according to the requirement of the project or team, it offers the different set of services. Okay. It allows your organization to request IT and other corporate services through a familiar and easy to use enterprise storefront. So it provides very user friendly interface to the customer, and it is very easy for organization to maintain the request IT and other corporate services as well. So it is very familiar kind of interface and easy to use enterprise storefront. So any customer can use it very easily, and even it is easy for organization also to maintain all the services. And it cordlessly automates workflow and approval to enable organization to improve the customer interface or experience, accelerate service delivery, and reduce operational cost. So, service now having the biggest advantage, we do not need much of coding to automate any flow. So, service now provides such kind of interface, so we can use like catalog, and we have flow designer, workflow. So, it requires minimal coding, and we can, enable the organization to improve the customer experience. We can provide lot of services, lot of functionality to the customer using very less code. So it reduces operational cost also for any organization. Okay. So in next slide we'll navigate to the native view, okay, as well as ESS view, and we'll try to understand how it looks. Native view is especially available for the ITL and admin role, and this ESS view is only for customer or client. So whatever service portal we design, we can design especially for the customer or client. So end user can see the ESS or service portal view, and native view can be seen by ITL and admin role. And ESS also can be managed by admin role only, right? So let's navigate to the ServiceNow personal instance, and we'll see how it is. Okay. So here, this is a native view which is used by ITL and admin user. So first we'll go to service portal. So you can type service portal here, and you can navigate to the service portal, that is called ESS view also. Okay, so you could see here the service portal, right? So here we are, I mean, any customer or client would be able to see this view, and they are having many kind of functionality available on the service portal. Like you could, I am ServiceNow admin, so I could see your ServiceNow administrator, whatever name of that customer or end user, they could see their name. And we are having the profile. They can go to the profile and they can change if some information they want to modify. So mainly we are going to talk about catalog today. So we'll focus on catalog. Okay. This request has been raised. Okay, so these are the requests which are raised by this service admin user. So you could see the number of requests here. We will go to the catalog. Okay, so if we have to request something, we can click on this request something. So it will redirect you to set up uh, catalog items. So you could see here service catalog. In service catalog, there are multiple categories defined. So this can we help you is the one of category defined under service catalog. So if you click on it, you could see here different catalog items. So change password is one of the catalog item defined under service catalog and can we help you category. The same way if you click on hardware, you could see there are various multiple catalog items defined under this category hardware. So if any end user wants to create a Apple iPad request, they can click on it and they can provide the attachment or they can provide here number of iPad they want, one, two, anything as well the requirement, and they could see the price here, they could see the delivery time. So they can directly order now here and they can add to cart if they want to select some other item also. So they can just add that item into the card and they can respectively select other item as well, like sales laptop also I need, so I can select it. Okay, I'll add to card and I go to cart here, right, and I can proceed to checkout. Confirm. Okay, so now you could see, so right, the sales laptop as well as Apple iPad request has been submitted and the request number is this. So we can open the request number and we can track it, right, we can see the stage. So now it is in waiting for approval state. So once it get approved, it's go to the next stage. So we can track it from here, like where is the laptop. So yes, so now we can go to the request and we could see our request. So to requested item. So whenever we create a request, okay, so requested item and task, like as per our flow defined, it will get created. So for one request, there can be multiple requested items, right? So you could see only one request got created, but there are two requested items because we have requested for two items, sales laptop as well as Apple iPad, right? So yes, we can go and we can see here, we can track it. So now let's navigate to our admin native view, which can be seen by ITL or admin user, and we'll try to see how it is categorized. So we'll go to service catalog. So here you could see these are all are the categories, right? And this is a service catalog, and under we have various category. If you open any of the category, you could see various catalog items are associated with that category, right? So you could see here developer laptop, sales laptop, standard laptop. So you could click, so you will redirect it to this developer laptop catalog item. And you can, I mean, if you have admin or ideal access, you can raise a request from here itself, or else if you don't have this specific access, you would be able to see the end user view, and you can raise your request by referring service portal or end user view. Yes, so we have already understood this how catalog items. So mainly we are having two types of catalog items in service now: service catalogs as well as technical catalogs. And in service catalog we define the various categories, and catalog items are associated with the categories. So there can be multiple catalog items in one of category, and there can be multiple categories in one of the catalogs. I hope you are quite clear about this. Okay, so let's talk about benefit of having catalog items. So it drives greater self-service by fulfilling all the requests through an intuitive interface. Okay, it increases operational efficiency with accurate information, speedy process execution, and no more duplicated effort. So mainly it improves the organization efficiency or productivity. Share your success by publishing service level and accessing demand for service cost and improvement. So yes, your success can be shared by publishing service level and accessing demand for services. So it helps to maintain the infrastructure of any organization, and it is very much cost efficient, and it boosts the organizational operation efficiency, and it helps in the speedy process execution, and it provides a customer also to track the request, and they can also get to know about how the request is being fulfilled, where it is, and how when they are going to get it. So it's provide benefit to admin as well as customer. So now I'll try to understand what is catalog item. So a catalog item can be a good or service. If something can be ordered by itself, it is a catalog item. So this is the catalog item. So if we any customer or user want to order MacBook Pro or any laptop as part of any organization, like resource started working on any project, so they need laptop. Sometimes they need mobile connection or some kind of thing, right? So they can go and raise a request for themselves. So it can be service also, like if I'm not able to access internet or any application, so we need to reach out to someone who can look into that. So in that case we can raise a request for the service, right? So it can be a good as well as service. So use a catalog item to publish a service to your user. Add a service description, emails, and workflow to determine the approval and fulfillment process for the catalog items. So it is back in the story, right? So we can design a flow, something, and here you could see it is a picture of this Mac Pro. So user can see this picture and can understand. And here we can define some. We have defined optional software, so they can add the software, so whenever they will be getting this laptop, they can get this laptop along with the software. So we can define multiple new functionality or properties, so this can be utilized by the customer. So like they don't have to raise any separate request for the optional software. They can select it and it can be provided along with this laptop. And we can design some flow, like for having for getting the laptop we need approval, right? So any level of approval we can define in the workflow, and we can define like once it approves, some task has to be created, and this can be assigned to a vendor who is going to fulfill this requirement, right? Who is going to provide the laptop. So we can define everything in a flow. So we have workflow in our service now, so we can define all this flow in that. Yes, so service description. So you can provide description about this MacBook, images, or some technical, detail. So this kind of thing. And if user wants to add some, additional requirement, software requirement, or any additional requirement with the laptop, so they can define it here if it is, feasible, that can be provided along with the laptop. So this kind of, scenario we can define from the backend using workflow or flow designer we have. So it's quite easy to maintain, right? And use the variables to present and gather information from the user. So yes, we can use the variable to gather the information from the user, right? Like this. So if we need, we can gather some information, we can define some comments. So we are having multiple variables, so we can use those variables in catalog items and we can add much of functionalities. The catalog UI policies and catalog client script can be also added to control the item behavior based on the user input. Okay, so any organization use service catalog and catalog items to support request management. Okay, so request management can be supported by using catalog item in any of organization. So let's come to our next slide. So here I'm trying to explain you once we submit the any request or order through the catalog item. So one request gets created, and part of that request multiple RATM can be created, and for one RATM multiple tasks can be created. So I have already explained you in previous slide. So let's go to our next slide. So types of catalog item. So we are having mainly three types of catalog items. So first is record producer. So record producer is something which gives alternative way to add information such as incident via service catalog. So mainly we create a request or request item through the catalog item, but we can create another task based record also, like problem, change, incident, using record producer. Second, we have order guide. So order guide used to group multiple catalogs items in one request. So by using order guide, we can have a number of multiple catalog items as part of one request. So we can arrange the catalog items in order guide in a sequential manner in which we want to have request. And third is contained items. So catalog items which provide information instead of good or services. So content item is something which provide information instead of good or services. Okay, so let's go to our next slide and we'll try to understand variables of catalog items. These are the catalog variables. So if you want to have any variable like date, you can use date. Container variable is used for containing the variables, multiple variables into one container. Duration, you can define some duration into that field. Email, if you want to have any email address, so you can use this variable, email variable. Same as HTML. So if you see, right, like source code image kind of HTML, where we have access to, right, our source code, we can attach the email. Video, we have multiple functionality to set up some different kind of tags, or maybe we can enlarge the tags. So this kind of thing, I'll make one video especially for variables where I can define each and every variables which is being used in catalog item. I'll make separate video on that. In this video, I'm just giving you overview about variables, like in which scenario this kind of variable can be used. So yeah, so label, if we have to provide any string value, in that case we can use label. List collector, there are some list for any particular value, and we can select some of the value from the list to the another side. And look up multiple choice, so we can have um, authority to select multiple choices from the lookup. Multiple choice, we are aware of that, we can select multiple choices. URL, we can define some URL or link into that. So once we click on that URL, it will redirect to another page. So don't worry, I'm going to make one whole video on variables, and I'll define and I'll show you referring the ServiceNow personal instance, how it looks and how it can be used. So for now, I'll just give you brief. Let's go to next slide. So variable set, uh, it is also very important topic. So we can create one variable set and we can add multiple variables into that variable set. But some kind of variables which is being used repeatedly. I mean, like name, email address, phone number, address. We require this kind of variable in, in each and every catalog items generally. So we can store those kind of variables into one of the variable set, and we can reuse it. So mainly variable set allows you to create a collection of structure variable that can be reused across multiple catalog items as well as order guides. Using variable set saves time because you don't have to create the same variable individually for many catalog items. So yeah, it saves time. It is very usable. That is the main advantage of having variable set. We don't have to create, the same variable time and again. We can create and we can add into the variable set and we can use whenever it requires. So yes, I'll show you variable set also how can you create in ServiceNow instance. Okay, uh, so we are going to implement the use case where we are going to create a new joiner request catalog item. Along with this, we'll be creating some of the variables like user ID, name, address, access for, and we'll try to implement the flow. I mean, some flow, how it should work. So our flow would be like something. First approval should go to the user. Like once we submitted the our request, it should go to the user manager for approval. Once it gets approved, task should get created. So let's navigate to our ServiceNow personal instance and we can see how can we create catalog item, how can we define some flow. So okay, let's do it. So you have to type maintain item in the filter navigator and you have to go to the maintain item. So here you can see all the list of catalog item has been created in this instance. So now you have to click on new to create new catalog item. So you could see this form. Now you can provide the name. So we have to provide new joiner request. Okay. And now catalog. So we are having mainly two catalogs, service and technical. If request, you can create new catalogs by clicking on new. This is the table name to create new catalog. So I'm selecting service catalog and here you have option to select category. So it's up to your requirement. If you want to show this catalog item under some category, you can select some of the category. And if you want to create your new category, you can click it from here, clicking on new, and you are having this table name for category. So you can navigate to this table and you can create category. So I'm just selecting services. Active has to be true. Now you can provide some item details here. So I'm just copying the name and providing in short description and description. I mean, it's totally up to your requirement. You can have this information. So if you come down, you could see here meta. So meta is used to add relevant tags to the meta field using comma separated list of tags. So you can add, some of the tags here. So it will be easy to search this item. So now coming to the process engine. So we are having three kind of, engine for the catalog item. So here you can define the flow, how catalog items should work. So flow is nothing but flow designer. So you can create flow designer and you can add it. And maybe you can click on it and you could see how many flow designer are already available in the service now. So this is the, table name to create the flow designer. Okay. So now there's one existing, you can go to the flow designer and you can create the new flow according to your requirement. And this is the workflow. I mean, let me tell you one thing. Flow designer is something where you can use minimum, scripting and you can achieve your requirement. So this is something new thing has been added by ServiceNow. if some admin can also go and create a flow designer, and which can be added into the catalog item. And workflow, you can do lots of dynamic things so by workflow. So okay, we'll first we'll create this catalog item, and then we'll try to create workflow. Okay, and we'll add it here. Execution plan. So execution plan is also some similar to, I mean, flow and workflow. So you can configure some of the execution plan, but it's not that dynamic. So if you have to achieve lots of customization or dynamic things, so you have to use either flow designer or workflow according to your requirement. So workflow is something very dynamic. You can use scripting, and you can make your achieve your requirement easily. So okay, we'll configure workflow and we'll map that workflow here. So let's go to the picture. So here you can have icons and picture for this catalog item. So you can click on it, just click on it, and you can add the icons, any image for icon or pictures, you can add it from here. Pricing. So price, you can define the price, like if you are creating this catalog for a laptop or any hardware, like phone or anything, so you can define the price for that. And if you want to, add some recurring price, you can define it here, as well as frequency. So on the basis of your frequency, this recurring price will be added to the total. Okay. Portal setting. So this setting is totally for portal, ESS portal. So you can have, request method. So you see order now, so you can change that request method, and you can have request submit. So this will not applicable for the native view. This is totally for portal. So you can hide, attachment, hide add to wish list. You can make attachment mandatory, and you can do lots of, service now added lots of functionality under this portal setting. So you can have this, yeah, by portal setting. You can make these changes, and it will be applicable to the portal. So let's submit our catalog item. Okay, we have submitted. It has been created. Okay, so now you could see there are lots of related link or related tab. So we are having a variable feed. I'm going to explain all this tab. So first we'll create variables. Okay. Okay, so you could see this page from where you can able to create a variable. So this is the table name for variables. So directly you can navigate to this table and create variables, or you can create by clicking on new under variable tab. So here you have to provide the name, as well as you have to select some type. So we are going to select reference, and you can make this variable mandatory by clicking on this mandatory. You can define order here. So I'm defining order as 100 because I want to show this name, this variable on the top. So I am providing question as name. Okay, so once you provide the question, this name will automatically pop up. So here you can have some annotation. So you can click on this show help, so it will display help text. Okay, help tag. Here you can provide, help tag whatever you want to show. So more information, comments, whatever you can update according to it. And you can provide some of the help text also if you want to, highlight some of the things to the user. So you can have it here. Instruction also you can give it. I mean, it's totally up to your comment. And I have been saying this so every time. I mean, this will can be used according to our requirements. If it's not required, we can just keep it like that. So you can change the size of variable width. Okay, so now we are not touching it. So now we have selected this type as a reference. So we have to select some table here which we want to refer. Okay, so we want to refer the user table. So once, let me select the user table first. Okay, so once user click on that field, they would be able to see all the records from the user table. So user reference qualifier, so you can restrict the user data according to your requirement now. So here you are having, three kind of reference qualifier. I am going to make separate video on it. So now we are not doing anything, we are not restricting or putting any restriction on the data. You would be able to see all the user data under our name variable. You can have some default value, variable attributes, permission. Okay, so you can restrict this variable according to the role, like if you can add some role, so like whoever will be having that role only able to read this variable, write or create. We can have some restriction on writing or crude operation, right, basis on rule. Here it's about availability. So you can select visible elsewhere, visible on bundles, like you can check it and it will be available on that. So let's submit this variable. Okay, so our name variable has got created. Let's create other variables, user id, email address and all. So we'll just create some variables, user id, and user id we can have, single text line, not an issue. So we are just submitting it. Our next variable is address, right? So we have to create address variable. So we can have, multiple line tags, so we can provide our full address, and I'm giving the question as address. Okay, so we have not defined this order, right? So we'll define it from list view. And last variable we are going to define as access for. So in access for we can have some of the choices. So here we can select type as per our requirement. Okay, so we will be selecting multiple choice. Okay, access for. Submit it. Now we have to create some choices for this access for variable. So just open into another tab. It is opening. Meanwhile we'll arrange the order. So first I want to show up name, after that user id, so I'll give it as 200. Okay, then I want to show address, so 300. Then last I want to see access for. So whichever you want to show, up, you have to give less order, and whichever you want to see the last, so you can have maximum order for that. So here you can create some choices, right? So we want to just add two choices to make you understand. So I'm adding add, provide some value, and here also you can define the order. And second I'm going to add remove. Remove. Okay, and order is automatically taken as 200. Submitted. So our catalog item is ready. Okay, and you have option to create variable set also. So directly what you can do is you can create a variable set by referring this new icon. Okay, and you are having this catalog UI policy. So I'm going to explain you catalog UI policy and catalog client script, and available for and not available for is the user criteria, okay, for the catalog item. So you can create, you know, a user criteria, and you can restrict this catalog item basis on this user group's role, and you have option to create a script also. So you can have some codes under this script, and I mean you can create this user criteria and you can add it into that catalog item. If you want to show this catalog item only to some group, so you can have this group information here. This is on location, like we have lots of you know, roles, departments. So yes, you can create it. Maybe now I don't want it, so I'm not going to create it, but yes, you have this table name, user criteria, you can go and you can create it, and you can map that user criteria from here. Okay, from here, available for and not available for. Okay, categories, you are aware about it. Catalogs, related articles, you can add some articles, and it's if already created, you can just edit and you can add it. And related catalog items also, something similar to that. So I'm going to you know, make one video especially for variable set. Then I'll create variable set and explain you about single row variable set, multi row variable set. So I'm not going to, you know, consider or in this video because it will take more time. So I'm going to make separate video on that. So let's try it first. Okay, we haven't configured our, you know, flow, right? So we'll go to workflow and create our flow. So click on new joiner flow table. We will be selecting sc underscore req underscore item because our item gets created as part of catalog item, right? Description, you can provide same description. New joiner flow. Okay, submit it. Okay, so once you have submitted it, this to activity has been automatically created, begin and end. Now we are having the list of activities under core. So you could see there are multiple activities. Okay, so now we have to configure approval, right? So first approval we are going to configure where approval has to trigger to the user managers, right? So name, simply I'm providing approval user. Condition is not required. You can add some, you know, static value user. You can select user and lock it. Similarly, you can select group and lock it, so approval will trigger to the that group. And you have advanced condition where you can write some code. So what we are going to do is we are going to write a code because we need some dynamic kind of approval. So first we'll define our variable. Okay, so I'm defining one variable like approver. Okay, and I'm going to store our manager, dynamic manager value into this approval. For that, what I'm going to do is current, because whatever value we are selecting into the name, right? So what we are exactly doing it whenever we are selecting any name here, okay, like Abel Twitter. So approval should go to the manager of Abel Twitter. Okay. So for that, what I'm doing is current dot variables, because we have this is the not normal field, this is the variable, so we have to use variables dot, we have to use backend value of this name, so that is name only. Okay, now this is the reference field, right? So it is redirecting to the user table. So now we have to get backend value of the manager from the user table. Okay, so we'll go to the user table and we'll check what is the backend value of the manager. It would be manager itself, but I'll show you how can you go and check that. So this is the manager, right? You can have this backend value from here, this, right? Dot manager. So we are storing this value in the approver. Now we are defining our answer variable, okay, as a array. Now we are going to push this approver into our answer variable. So this is the format we have to follow. They have already given the sample, the example. So we have to define answer array and then we can push it our variable here. So same way we are also going to do it, answer dot push. Now we have to send this approver to the manager of the user, right? So we have stored it in approver. So we'll pass this approver here. Okay, so we are done. We can, and condition for approval, you can define it like there are lots of condition like anyone to approve, everyone to approve. So I am fine with anyone to approve. So I'll select this. Same for reject. You can select it according to your requirement again. And these are the field which is not required to modify. And a schedule, you can schedule this workflow activity or workflow according to this time zone based or schedule based on. So yes, I'm done with this. Now I can submit it. Okay. So I'm going to delete that and I'm going to add it here. So once it's RETM gets created, it should go to the approval. Okay. And then once it gets approved, we have to create a catalog task, right? So I am going to drag this catalog task activity and have the information. So create task, okay, and priority you can define it here if requires. I'm not giving any priority. So task value from, you can have from templates, fields or value, you can define it here. Fulfillment group, so you can select any group, so this task will automatically assign to that group. Same for assign to, you can have some assign to user, so this task once this task gets created, it will assign to that user automatically. And you can have some short description, so I'm giving just create task. Instruction also you can have, and again this is schedule, so you can schedule it according to this time zone schedule. Script, so if you want some some assign values on the catalog task or anything, so you can use this script according to your requirement and you can have this script like you can see the example. So task dot sort description, current dot sort description. So this kind of dynamic thing can be done by using our script. So we are not doing such things, so it is fine. So here these are the variables you have. So you can select and you can show on the task. So you can select anything from here and you can show it on the task. So that is also not required. I'm submitting it. Okay, so once it approved, it should create a task. Okay, and once it rejected, it should go to the end. And once task created, it should end this flow. Okay, so we are done. We can publish it. Okay, so remember, this is very important point. You have to publish the workflow, then only it will be applicable. You can add this workflow to any of the catalog item. So until and unless you have not published it, you would be not able to use or map this workflow anywhere. So now what we have to do is we have to go to the catalog item and we have to add our workflow into that. Okay, so we'll go to the process engine and workflow will select our new joiner flow. Yeah, correct. Update. Maintain item. Now let's check our flow. Okay, so try it. Here we are selecting this one, user ID. You can have some client script, so it will automatically populate the user ID. Now it's not mandatory, so I'm not giving anything. Address, it's not mandatory, so I'm not giving anything. Here we can select either add or remove, so I'm selecting add. Order now. Okay, click on it. So RHM, okay, so let's come down and see. So yes, so approver has been triggered to the manager of this user 8. So we'll approve it because we are admin, so we have access to approve it. I approved it, so task should get generated. So let's go and see. Yeah, so we could see here task also got generated once we approve the request, approve the approval. So yes, you can have some of the more fields on the catalog task by adding in the flow only. So this kind of automation you can do it by using workflow. So this is how catalog items work. Okay, so in this slide we'll try to understand catalog UI policy and catalog client script. So catalog UI policy and catalog client script is not different from our normal UI policy and client script. Just the main difference is the catalog client script and catalog UI policy will be applicable especially to the catalog items. Okay. So the functionality is also same. UI policy can be used to control the behavior on the form, right? So same way catalog UI policy also control the behaviors on the catalog item forms, which is presented to user. And catalog policy can be applied to the catalog item or a variable set also. And client side script, also add the dynamic effects and validation to the form, catalog item form. Script can apply to the service catalog items or variable set and allow administrator to use the functionality that is available on the other form. And this is also especially applicable to the catalog items. So I'll make another video on catalog UI policy and client script, and we'll try to implement some of the use cases on it. Okay. Thank you. If you find this videos helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel.